Hey, I'm Jay Brody here with Danko Jones, Sofa Beach Session. We're a huge fan of Danko. I'm a huge fan of yours, Danko. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You just dropped a new single, I Want Out, from your 10th album, Power Trio, which will be out in August. We're also celebrating 25 years of Danko Jones this year. What a ride it's been.
It seems like it's only been about 7 years, but yeah, it's been 25 years since we started. And I don't know, what can I say? 10 albums. We're very happy that we put out one of our strongest, if not the strongest album. And so I'm glad this song, I Want Out, and the album is to our liking. Before we put it out there, we have to please ourselves. So I'm so happy about that.
We're celebrating 25 years of Danko Jones this year. And you've toured with bands like Guns N' Roses, Ozzy Osbourne. You opened for the Stones. What if you could look back on one of your fondest memories in your 25-year career? What would probably be a highlight? Not just one that comes off the top of your head.
The first moments that I always remember are with other bands. I mean, that's really what drew me to do this, is because I was such a huge fan and I wanted to do that, but more importantly, be around that, right? So yes, those are the memories. It's meeting bands, members of bands that I had their, poster or picture on the wall. And to do it on a peer level is something that I feel very, privileged to have experienced many times. Although I don't consider myself a peer, but we do the same thing. So it's been great to meet them in that setting. Of course, I'll always be a fan first, but we're working together, we're playing together, we're doing this show together, we're getting paid together. So yeah, it's as much as I am fully aware I'm still only going to be ever a fan. It's really cool to be brought into their, to their inner sanctum sometimes. And those are the moments that I remember the most. And on those tours that you mentioned, like touring with Motorhead and touring with Guns N' Roses, those moments happened, so yeah, those are great moments.
So Duff McKagan wrote the foreword to your book. What was that conversation like? How did you pitch Duff? And what was that phone call like?
So I put out a book in 2018. It's called I've Got Something to Say. It was put out on by Feral House Books, which is a book company that I've been a fan of since I was a kid. No, not a kid, but since I was in high school. They put out really bizarre, outsider, sometimes occult books. To be on Feral House is kind of like how it feels like to be in a band on your favorite record label. Yeah. So I'm very proud to be part of Feral House. And they put that out in 2018. Leading up to the book's release, back in 2013, we were touring with both of Duff's side bands that year. We toured with Loaded in Australia, and we toured with Walking Papers across America. And we had spent like the whole summer together, right? You'd spent like lunches together and dinners together, just talking, and we had great conversation. It was a blast. It was a great summer. And so the last day of the tour, I said, hey, if I ever write a book, this is 2013, would you write the foreword? And he said, of course. And so I think it was 2017, 26. I was gearing up to put out the book, 2016, 17. I emailed him and I said, hey, that thing you promised me in 2013, could you write the foreword? He emailed me back and he said, listen, my world is going to get really busy in about a week. And because I knew what I knew, and we'd heard the rumblings before anybody knew. I already knew that was Slash and Duff were getting back with Axl. It was a rumor that a few people knew, and I knew a few people who knew about it, and I already knew what Duff meant, but he couldn't tell me, and even in the email. But he said, my world is going to get busy in a few days, so I don't know if I could do it. And I said, and I wrote him back. I said, no problem, I get it, because I kind of nudge, wink, wink, got it. Yeah. And then a couple of days after that, I just found it in my inbox. He was just like, oh, here it is.
Wow.
Like, I think because Duff's an old punk rocker. If you're an old punk rocker, and I mean, that's where we're from, there's a certain amount of punk rock guilt. And so I think, the punk rocker in him said, no, you promised him, you got to do it. And so I will forever be grateful to Duff, and I will forever sing his praises. And he is a stand-up dude, and he's in that world of, there's people in bands, and then there's people in bands. Yeah. And those people breathe a different kind of air than the rest of us. Out of all the people on that plane that I've met, Duff's the coolest by far.
want a little bit of some chocolate with your sugar, I can deliver it. I can deliver it right to your door. I say, mama, if you want a little bit of some chocolate with your sugar, I can deliver it. I can deliver it right to your door. What you call me when my back is turned around? Sugar daddy, sugar daddy, sugar daddy number one. I say mama, I know what you call me when my back is turned around. Sugar daddy, sugar daddy, sugar daddy, and I like that. I love it. Oh yeah, baby! By the sugar, by the pound, by the sugar, by the pound. If you want some chocolate with your sugar, some cream with your coffee, some butter with your scotch, you could call it cocoa butter or you could call it white chocolate. My name is Danko Jones. Everybody out there gets to call me delicious.
I loved the way you promoted your March 12th live stream, pro wrestling style promos. Now, you've done some, I don't know if it was work with the WWE, but pro wrestling has featured your music in the past. Are you a pro wrestling fan? And how did that relationship come about?
I am an old school wrestling fan. Unfortunately, I'm not. I don't have my ear to the ground with what's going on with WWE and wrestling these days. I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. I waited for the promos. Like before the pandemic, I was doing these promos for an upcoming UK tour that never happened, and I would do a promo for every single show, and it just got to be a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and I got a good reaction from everyone. So
it's amazing and so cool, so metal as well. And there's always been such a connection between rock and roll and wrestling. And it's there. Would you, if you had like me, listen, I would love to have been a wrestler, fat, short, bald, it's not working out. I can't, it'll never happen. But I mean, you got the guns though.
No guns. I got Jimmy Hart guns.
Raised in Toronto, such a part of the scene. When all this is over, pandemic is behind us, what are you looking forward to getting back to doing in Toronto?
Hugging my parents, going out for dinner, not just takeout, because I really feel we should support local restaurants and local businesses. And of course, I mean, you know what I'm going to say is play a show in Toronto. And that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate. So I hope so. We just got to listen to doctors and scientists, which is, I can't believe I have to say that, but like that, because people aren't. So I just feel I got to say that.
One of the things I really appreciate about you being such a prolific artist in the city is going on your social media. I see how not politically active, I would say, but you're not afraid to speak out when you see injustice or power being abused. What's been your experience in the past year being socially active on social media? Probably the worst year ever to do something like that on social media.
Well, I mean, I honestly don't think I'm too politically charged. The things that I say, in my world, all I'm saying is, don't be racist. Don't be sexist. Don't be a homophobe. And wear a mask. Listen to doctors and scientists. If that is controversial and politically charged, then we're really in a bad place. And so more of it then. I honestly, I'm not speaking from any extreme point of view. I think a lot of people with common sense will agree with all the points I'm making. I'm not doing anything, but I'm doing, like you said, I'm doing it because I want to hug my mom and dad.
Check it out, JC on the bass guitar, ladies. When you criticize with your pretty eyes, you drove a stake right through my heart. When you burn in hell, remember what I said. You had your chance, I've had enough. I've had enough.
I hate to be this guy because I'm hungry for more music and you just put out a great single, but when can we expect another taste?
There's going to be a few more singles that we're going to put out, and we've got a great response from all these songs that are coming out. Now, when I say like I'm an album cut guy. I never like the singles. So I never choose the singles. This time I love I Want Out. And I'm happy it was chosen, but I always step back when people start discussing what song off our album should be released. I don't care. We wrote them, we recorded them. I like them all. But and I usually end up going, how about this song? It's like, are you kidding me? There's no chorus in this song. So I stay out of it. So, but I Want Out is really close to my heart because of it's directly about the lockdown and the desire to end it and to be with each other, you know.
It's such a great tune, and I can't wait for more music. And listen, I would love to have you when all this is over and we can hug our moms again and be with each other. I would love to have you in the Edge Studios, hang out with the B team one morning. It would be great to have you in as our guest. I promise you, I'll bring you wrestling DVDs filled with great promos. I have a treasure chest filled with them. So if I can entice you with that,
that's to me, that's more enticing than like a Zeppelin box set or something.
Danko, thank you so much.
Thanks for this.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.